Hello, and welcome to today's episode of In the Moment. I'm your host, Michael Clark, certified life coach, former therapist, and owner of Clark Coaching Services. I was a therapist for 8 years of my career and have been a life coach for almost 2 years now. And I just want to give back and share my knowledge and experience with you to try to help navigate this thing we call life. Thank you in advance for listening, and I'm so glad you're here. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the In the Moment podcast. I am your host, Michael Clark, and I have another guest with me today in terms of doing a video podcast, and it's Carolina. She's going to introduce herself in a moment. Tonight, we're going to be talking about business and entrepreneurship and all that other fun stuff. If you are interested in business or being an entrepreneur, this might be the podcast for you. So that being said, I will let Carolina introduce herself and we will get started. All yours.
Oh, thank you, Mike, for having me. And congratulations on your 500 milestone with your subscribers on YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you again for having me. My name is Carolina. I go by Carol. My last name is Oehler. I am the founder and owner of Habana Cabana Events, and I'm so happy to share a little bit about myself with you. I was born and raised in the beautiful city of Bogota, Colombia. And my family moved to Florida when I was just 14 years old. So I spent the next 17 years in Florida, in the beautiful Sunshine State. I spent over a decade in hospitality marketing. And I had a side hustle working as a brand ambassador for cigar brands. We'll talk about that. And then eventually I made myself to the relaxed vibes of California. And I've been here for the past, it's going to be 9 years in December since I moved to California. I made a big career pivot because the industry that I was working back in Florida is not necessarily a huge industry here in the town that I'm in. Hospitality and tourism, you will think, oh, California is huge. They have beaches and whatnot. But I live a little bit inland, north of LA, in a town called Bakersfield. So there's not much of tourism and hospitality here yet. So I had to make a big career pivot right there, find myself doing something completely different. And I've been on my current job for over 7 years. And right now I'm trying to do a little bit of a switch and getting back to my passions and started my business while I'm still working full time. So we'll talk a little bit about that and the challenges that come with having a full-time job and a business on the side. So yeah, I mean, I've been lucky to have been shaped by different cultures and places and living in different environments. My background is a mix of adaptability is insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about because you have a very interesting career path, right? And also a very
Mhm.
interesting industry in terms of the business that you do. So not only are you an entrepreneur, but you're also a woman entrepreneur, which can make things difficult in itself. And not
Right.
only are you a female entrepreneur, but there also can be some cultural aspects as well to your business. So you have kind of almost the trifecta of either success or things to work on from a business perspective. So let's talk about that for a second. When you decided to kind of open your doors to your hospitality business in terms of cigar business, well, first of all, let's take a step back for a second. Let's tell people kind of what you do. What is your cigar business about? What is kind of your ideal customer? What do you do? How you help people? How you differentiate yourself from others in that might be in your industry as well.
Yeah, so Habana Cabana event is a service business. So you ever been to a wedding, for example, and they have different little things that enhance that event, like you have maybe a picture booth, right? Or maybe you have obviously a bar, or perhaps you have, a photo booth is one that comes to mind, but in some cases you've seen a cigar bar, right? So that's what I offer. I offer not only a cigar event planning for different events to enhance their events, but I offer a nice custom cigar lounge setup. I engage people during the event with cigar education sessions that can bring people together and they can, talk about it and have something to talk about after the event. And I also add curated spirit pairings that complement the cigars. So for some events, I might bring a whiskey or rum or something that can add to the experience. So it's basically about the experience, the culture again, and bringing people together and creating memories for those events, whether they're weddings or fundraisers or galas or corporate events, you name it. I mean, bachelor parties, retirement, milestone birthdays, things like that. So people always want something to make it more sophisticated, but also bring a little bit of a novelty to people.
Yeah,
So
which is
that's the,
fantastic. I
yeah.
mean, I I get that in terms of like, bachelor parties, of course it makes sense. But the fact that never would have thought about that in terms of doing it as an event as part of a wedding. I think that's a fantastic idea in terms of bringing some, not even from a cultural aspect, but from the aspect of just having something that's unique, something that's fun, and something that a lot of people can really get into. So that is great. I mean, I'm glad that you what made you think about doing that as part of as creating a business around that aspect?
Well, I'm not the first one to have that. And I get that a lot when people say, wow, that's very unique. I've never heard of it. It's very
Yeah,
few of us in the niche of
yeah,
providing a service. You usually just hear about your local brick and mortar that they sell
yeah,
cigars and they might have some leather chairs for you to sit and enjoy, nice little cigar
yeah,
lounges around. But you don't hear about just a service that can provide bring the cigar lounge to your party, right?
right.
So cigars are celebratory. That's why
Yeah,
it's kind of like a tradition for the groom at a wedding when they, you know, the ceremony's over. Now the guys
yeah,
are going to go on the side and light up a cigar and celebrate,
yeah,
right? Or you see basketball players when they win championships or go to the locker and then they light up their expensive cohibas. So it is a celebratory thing, and I love parties. I love celebrating. I've done events my entire life, and cigars was something that kind of fell on my lap. I've been working in the cigar industry on a side, kind of like what today might be considered an influencer. Back in
yeah,
2015, 20, well, I was saying 2011, I started smoking cigars, but I started getting myself more involved in the industry around 2014 and
okay,
started learning more about it and became a brand ambassador for several brands. So it was an interesting introduction that I had to cigars. So, I mean, years later, I feel like I want to go back to it. And I still smoke cigars, I still enjoy them.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
it
Me
is,
too. I mean, I love it.
yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I owe you
fantastic.
some
So
cigars, by the way.
that's right. Yeah, I'm waiting for my cigar.
They're
That's
still sitting on
fantastic.
my counter.
All right, no worries. All right, so in terms of as has it been difficult getting into the industry? No, granted, you have a great personality. I can totally see you being in the entertainment and hospitality and events industry, which is fantastic. So I think that's a great industry for you, just from what I've known about you since we've known one another. But it is tricky, like starting your own business. When I first started, for example, my coaching business, I thought right when I first started and was going to open my doors, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do a life coaching business and I'm going to, like what was that movie, Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. So I thought, hey, I'm going to launch my business. It's a great idea. I'm going to have clients like flooding my door the second I open my doors. And that has just not been the case. It has definitely been work and a struggle. So let's talk a little bit about how has it been in terms of being an entrepreneur, and has it been easy? Have you struggled? And kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, not definitely not easy. So I definitely when I started and I knew what I was expecting in terms of being a female in
Mhm.
the cigar world. I mean, I'll be honest, stepping into the cigar world wasn't the easiest when I
Yeah.
started, in back in 2014. It's a space that's typically just run by men. Men are the
Yeah.
ones that smoke the cigars. Not anymore.
Yeah.
That's, people have changed culturally. We have seen some improvements. Women are
Right.
stepping more into that world. But when I started, it was a challenge because at that time, and even right now, there's still that stereotyping that a woman with a cigar is just trying to get the man's attention.
Okay. Yeah.
There are some stereotypes with that, and in the industry there were a few women that were legit educated on cigars, and there was just a few of them that had a good reputation for knowing what they were talking about. And then there were other ones that were, taking sexy pictures with the cigars and then just kind of like trying to create bait for followers and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it kind of created a little stereotyping, hard to be taken seriously in the world of cigars. So, I mean, it's been a long journey for me. And then when I moved to California 9 years ago, I kind of stopped and stopped my how do you call it, just my all the branding that I did just kind
Right.
of started fading away. I said, I'm going to step away from that and start doing something different. So now that I
Okay.
am retaking on this industry and kind of like going back into it, I remember how hard it is, but I know it's not impossible. I did it once and I feel more comfortable now. I'm 41 years old now. Back then I was, in my and young and vibrant and had all the energy and
Right.
everything. And now it's a
Oh, please. You're
different
still you're
approach.
still young. You're still young and vibrant. So don't even go there. So yes.
But mistakes, let's talk about there's still challenges. Definitely setting unrealistic goals was one of
Yeah.
my biggest mistakes starting this business because I also started with so much energy and I
Yeah.
couldn't sleep at night thinking of all the things that I was gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna land all these weddings.
Yeah.
Every couple was gonna want a cigar table. They don't even think about
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
They don't even know
Yeah.
that
Oh, I
that's a
get it.
thing sometimes. So it's unrealistic goal sometimes, and then I have to take a step back and kind of like figure out how am I going to make myself known and just in my town where nobody knows me. Everybody knew
Yeah.
me in Florida and the cigar world over there, and if people are more open to smoking cigars in Florida, California is a little differently. People don't smoke for the most part, so it has been a little bit different and challenging from what I thought it was gonna be. So
Yeah. I
still
mean,
still
the
working
that's
on that.
That's a good point in terms of just the difference in terms of relocating, right, from like Florida to California, and the different, as you just mentioned, the different cultural aspect in terms of California being different than Florida and things of that sort. So, but you're still, I mean, it sounds like this is also just a passion that you have in terms of really wanting to be in this industry and help others and just show others a different side of or a different type of way to celebrate successes, be it either, bachelor parties, weddings, corporate events. I mean, those are celebratory events, and you are there to help make a difference. And I love that. That is fantastic. Now, what are some of the those are some of the things that you're working on. And what are some of the successes that you've seen or successes that you've learned that in terms of being able to, like some of the different events that you've gone to or some of the feedback that you've gotten from some of your clients and things of that sort?
Yes, definitely. One of the weddings that I did, people were just they were giving so many compliments to bride and groom. First
Yeah.
of all, it
Yeah.
looks very classy. And they say,
Yeah.
whoa, fancy you with a cigar bar, because it is a fancy experience for most
Yeah.
people. So it's just seeing that in people's faces for the first time. It always gets me. It's always so
No.
exciting to teach people something because I love just that part of teaching people how to cut the cigar properly, how to toast it, how to light it, how to smoke it, cigar etiquette. This kind of things are always exciting. But again, after 41 years for me, I celebrate every success. Success for me is
Nice.
just being able to get my website up and running.
Yeah.
just being able to show up to networking events so people can see my face and connect the
Yeah.
business with the face. Successes for me is like when I get myself to make a post. It's so
Right.
difficult to find time to do anything. So every little thing that I can do towards the advancement of my business, even if it's little baby tiny steps, is a reason for me to celebrate, and it's a success.
Good. That is good. I love that. Yeah, I get it. I mean, one of the things that I try to do, that I teach my students from digital marketing, and especially with social media marketing, is consistency. I mean, even if you post like once a month, then make sure you religiously post once a month, because eventually you're going to get followers and they're going to have those expectations for you. So that is great that you actually see those small wins as actual wins, because a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people say I can only post once a month and that's not enough, and I'm just going to like give up. But no, I mean, consistency is key, and finding time to do that. I mean, marketing oneself could be a full-time job in itself, in terms of trying to get the word out, in terms of who you are and what you do, and trying to find the right people and things like that.
Well, and then you touch on something important too, that is like you are the marketer of your business. When you run a business, you are the marketer, you're the accountant, you're the operations, you're the janitor, you are
Right.
everybody. You have to do all these jobs and make sure that everything is working and that you're don't spending too much time in just one activity. You have to,
Yeah.
and you are a perfect example where you're leveraging all of your tools and platforms,
Yeah.
podcast, YouTube, blog, website,
Yeah.
social media, all of these platforms and tools, and having the time to do everything. But you also have to find out where's your next customer and how you're going to get them.
Yep.
And that's just showing up. And for you, for
Yeah.
example, showing up is doing this podcast, doing your little shorts, grabbing just a small topic, and there's just a lot to learn from that to run a business. And for me, one of the things that I've been struggling with is just having the consistency, like you said,
Yeah.
being consistent. If you're going to do this every week, do it every week. If you're going to do it
Yeah.
once a month, do it once a month, right? But I think the important thing is just, and that's again a reason to celebrate, just do it, just get it done,
Yeah.
just do one thing at least, and it's better than doing nothing, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
say doing something better than nothing. It's in itself a success for sure.
Exactly, and that's definitely a win. And you're absolutely right, because it can be tough, especially like I said, being one of the things you mentioned a few minutes ago is the difficulties that you had in terms of being a woman in, to be frank, a man's industry, in terms of the cigar industry. So. I'm very, one of the things I really like about you is the fact that you don't give up. You keep fighting the good fight, because it's also something that you're passionate about, which is great, which is actually one of the lessons that I want to tell people who are listening to the podcast. I mean, if you are passionate about something, try to keep at it. You're going to see some failures, and you just have to kind of pick yourself back up and keep going, learn from those failures and move forward. And you're going to make mistakes. Just try not to make the same mistakes twice and just kind of move forward from there. So yeah, I mean, again, I
Absolutely.
have to give you kudos for that, in terms of just
Thank you.
not giving up and keeping going.
Yes, but don't get me wrong, there's been times where I doubted myself and I said,
Yeah.
am I dreaming too high? Am I
Yeah.
this might not work. I might just give up because this is unrealistic, or it's not for
Yeah.
me, or I am not achieving what I thought I was going to do. Like for example, thinking I was going to land all these events right off the get go.
Yeah.
And then when I realized that's not how it is, then I did have thoughts of
Yeah.
abandoning everything and just giving up. So I'm sure every business owner or a startup has gone through that, right? Where you
Yeah.
just think, you know what, I'm gonna just like switch gears, maybe do something else.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I've been doing that for many years. I've been doing this and that and little things, but give up one thing, started another, and this is
Yeah.
probably the only one time where I have stuck with one thing. And I said, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not going to be perfect. I still have a full time job. Not my
Yeah.
excuse. Many people do it when they have a side gig and they have their full time job, but I have goals still.
Yeah.
I'm revising my goals constantly
Okay.
and trial and error. I think it's one of the mottos right now. It's
Right. Yes.
it's okay. We'll try this. That didn't work. We won't do that again. Um, and try something different. Right now, for me, I figure that the best thing that I can do at this time is let my community know me a little bit more. I tend to stay, in the shadows and work in the shadows and
Okay.
do big things and maybe not showing them to the world as I should or showing
Okay.
my face and going to all these events and things. So I'm trying to do a lot of networking because I feel that you never know who you're going to meet. Passing a lot
Yeah.
of business cards, going to all this networking, the local chamber of commerce, they have a
Yeah.
monthly luncheon, so that's my next goal. I want to make it there because I'm going to meet other entrepreneurs that might give me their peace of mind, advice. I can learn, I can hear something, I can meet more people. So I want to get involved with charities too, because that was big part
Yes.
of what I did back in the day with cigars. The cigar industry is extremely generous. And back in the day, I was able to run several auctions with the cigars that I was able to get back then from manufacturers that wanted me to help them with branding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back in the day when before the influencer era, I was a brand ambassador and cigar manufacturers would hire me to work their event or they would just give me a box of cigars for me to try and review them and maybe talk about
Yeah.
them and things like that. And when I started getting a lot of things, instead of doing giveaways, I started doing auctions and collecting money for charities. So it's part of what I want to do too. I feel that I started to have a deep love for the community where I live. I am so involved with my community now and I want to do something to give back.
Yeah.
California is a great state that have adopted me and I have made so many valuable friends and that have become my family. I got into yoga when I moved here, and that's a big part of
Nice.
what I do. I love that, and I've made so many good friends. They're all excited about my business too, and people are willing and open minded to try new things. So I want to give
Good.
back a little bit. So part of where I want to go with my business is contribute back to charities
Okay.
and proceeds of my earnings can go towards one specific foundation. It's so I don't know. There are many things that I still want to do, and like I say, my goals keep revising. I
Keep
still want to
moving.
do
Yeah.
big things, but I'm sticking with it.
Good.
I am determined that I'm going to do this, and it's going to be what I dreamed, or maybe better or different than what I'm thinking right now. So
That is
we're
fantastic. I
sticking to
love
it.
that in terms of giving back to the community. I mean, and that's one of the reasons I set up my life coaching business because I missed helping others. I missed like giving back to the community. I mean, I do so many. This is one of the reasons probably I'm not a huge success in terms of my business because I do a lot of pro bono work because I love it. I love the barter system. I love giving services away. But I mean, granted, it's not necessarily going to make me a millionaire, but I still love helping others. So that's great that you also want to kind of give to charity and kind of give back to the community at large, which is fantastic. And I love that. And so as we start to wrap up, what are is a couple pieces of advice you can give to other entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs, in terms of what would you tell them if they are looking to be entrepreneurs and start a business?
Well, one thing that has worked for me, especially in the space that is a space for mainly for men,
Mhm.
and I still get questions about if my husband is part of the business because they always want to talk to
Okay.
him. And I'm like, he's not part of
Yeah.
this. It's just me.
No. Right.
And they always want a man there. And
Yeah.
I said, no. But I show up. I think the biggest advice is to show up with passion, hard work,
Yeah.
true appreciation for the craft that you do. I believe in what you do because you're doing it because you have a passion, and there's nothing better than creating something out of passion. You will never be
Yeah.
bored. You will always have energy for it. You will always be interested in reading and learning. I have this book right here, The
Mhm.
Tobacconist Handbook. There's
Okay. Nice.
actually
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can find this book. I'm sure they have it on Amazon, but I've having this
Yeah.
book for a long time when I got into the cigar world. But I just go refer to it sometimes. I'm trying to make notes on what content I can produce. How can I teach somebody something that I know? I love teaching and giving information and volunteering information that nobody has asked me for, but I
Right.
love that. So if you have a passion for a project and your brand is just going to grow roots,
Yeah.
and eventually your business is going to take off. If you believe in your passion, you have dedication, you have consistency, like you were
Right.
saying, and then you have love for what you do. So I just say don't give up. Approach to branding or the difficulties or challenges with being either whatever, a minority, a woman, whatever, it's just a challenge that you can overcome it if you show up with love and dedication and hard work, and you're dedicated and committed to what you're going to do. You're going to come out to the other side, and then there's going to be
Yeah.
ups and downs, but then those challenges and those times of difficulty, I think, is what makes you grow better and bigger. If it's not
Right.
for those
Very good.
challenges, or also challenge yourself to do something that you're uncomfortable with.
Oh,
If you
I
don't want
love
to do
that.
public speaking, do it, try it, and get over that. Right? If you are shy in camera and you don't want to do a post and show your face, do it once in a while. Just do it anyway, even if you feel that you sound horrible. I always struggle with that before because as a Colombian, I have my accent and I feel that I still have it. And I might mispronounce things here and there because I still think in Spanish a few times. I talked to my mom,
Yeah.
my sister, and then I still have challenges with the language,
Yeah.
believe it or not. So it makes me self-conscious, but I love talking, as you can see. So
And there's
that
nothing wrong with that.
that doesn't stop me. I laugh if I make a mistake and I said something that sounded funny.
Yeah.
I
Very
just,
good.
just move on.
There you go. I love that. So yeah, and I get it. I just recently so one of the things that other life coaches have told me in the past is like, okay, you have to have a specialty, you have to have a niche. So I'm like, I don't want to do that yet. I want to basically just see what's out there. So I just recently finally solidified my niche and um one of your challenges is being a woman entrepreneur in a man's industry or business. Mine is being a man and trying to get into not the industry that's primarily women, but my niche is specializing in helping women. So one of the things I have been challenged with is like, you're a man, how can you understand women? I'm like, it's not necessarily about understanding, it's about being able to go beyond the gender issue and utilize my skill set and professionalism and just my knowledge from being a therapist and my knowledge of being a life coach and the different clients that I've had success with. It's about that. So we're both kind of in a similar boat from a challenge standpoint. But again, just like you, I'm not going to give up, and I'm glad you're not either. I'm not either in terms of having a passion and moving forward with that. So I love that. But yes. So how would people contact you? What are some ways that people can contact you if they want to talk to you more, or set up event, or find more information about what you do?
I am everywhere. You can just call me. Just kidding. Call or text. No, my website is Habana Cabana Events.com, and that Habana is with a B
Okay.
because of the
All right.
Habanos, because of the cigars.
Okay, got it. So Habana Cabana, you said events
Events. Events.
dot com, correct?
HabanaCabanaEvents.com. And I'm also on Instagram under the same name, Habana Cabana Events.
Okay, perfect.
And yeah, so I am there. My contact form is also on my website, so people can just email me, Caro at HabanaCabanaEvents.com. So I'm always available and happy to chat about cigars or go smoke a cigar with someone or participate in an event, enhance anyone's event, and make memories for people. So making
There you
visions
go.
into realities, all of that good stuff. So I love chatting and talking
I
ideas.
love that, making visions into realities. So that is fantastic. All right. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
Well, it's been a pleasure just sharing a little bit of the paradise that lives in my head with
Right.
you and all of the listeners. So it's just great. So thank you so much, and I wish you great success with your podcast as well with your business. And I admire everything you do, and you're a great mentor. And so keep
Thank
doing what
you.
you do. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So that is it. I appreciate your time as well and what you do. Yeah. And it was great. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.
I'll put those cigars in the mail for you.
All right. Thank you.